100-yard dash. Got it on smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. They will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone. Watch me celebrate. I'm cocky. I do my dance. Jump in the stands. No man, the man. Oh, deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me. I ruin they plans. I do what I want. They do what they can. Got it on smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. Yeah. They can't catch up cause they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs. They on attack when they tackle like damager. They react and play it back on the camera. Hot boy, just consider me flammable. Sure shot, I got all the intangibles. Need a leash, I'm a beast, I'm an animal. Heat the competition up like a Hannibal. Know the game like I wrote up the manual. I do weekly what you do on the annual. MVP, that decision unanimous. Big dogs, I don't think they can handle it. Battlefield, it's just me and my warriors. Guaranteed we emerging victorious. Years, blood, sweat, tears, it's glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. They will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone. Watch me celebrate. I'm cocky. I do my dance. Jump in the stands. No man, the man. Oh, deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me. I ruin they plans. I do what I want. They do what they can. Got it on smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. They slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best cause I am. It's noted in keeping it low-key. I can carve up the D like a turkey or run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the Jets. The coach will regret even letting them stay in the game. Team around took a tumble. Next time be humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You just try not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through the traffic. Footwork fantastic. Dominating every facet. Treat the pocket like plastic. Here come the blitz, pass it. Got it on smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash.
Feeling that glowing hill. I'm giving they soldier chills. My jewelry cold as shield. Stories treacherous, I effortlessly show them skills. Yeah. Been first off the edge like I don't know no bill. See the pain deep in my eyes, they know it's real. Yeah, been this way, right before the deal. Say this one for your photo real. Blessing after testing, I'ma show them skills. You ain't gotta tell me, I know I'm ill. Stories treacherous, I effortlessly show them skills. Yeah, how about it? You want it, you have it, you got it. Go snatch it, skirt the lot. Go ahead, jump it, how about it? Rep where you from, where you post, department, your projects. Pain driven, itching, drumming. Look how far we coming. Heartbeat on the streets, you can do it. Ain't built for the weekend, sweet. This sugar, one man army, but get deep. Watch what you doing. I ain't damaged goods, damn out the clay. You wish you could. I do this for the family. I might just blow my wheel. I'm keeping it so for real.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Red 60 Pittsburgh. And lock it. Check.
First carry of the game for Jalen Samuels. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple.
Let's go, tight end. Ready. Mike 51.
Second and 2. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that's caught inside the 35. 33 yards that time. All right, Charles, let me put you in the head of one of those defenders out there. You have a big play like that go against you so early. Does that shake your confidence?
It shouldn't, but it often does, because your thought process all during the week is how you're going to get after that offense and make your plays. And when they make one against you, it makes you a little bit hesitant.
Time to regroup.
Charlie. 51 the mic, boy, 51.
On first down, Love going top shelf for into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Demarius Randall. When the rookie QB gets his first touchdown pass, that's one you put in the trophy case. First career interception, that's going to be one he wants to forget.
Yeah, and he's not going to go ask for the football, right?
No.
Yeah, you can keep that one. The key for him, what does he learn from it? When he watches the tape, does he have an answer right now where he already understands what mistake he made? That's what the coaches are going to want to know, and that's what they'll grill him on and see how he grows from it.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 23. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And an alley to run. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it's going to be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
55. Right there in the middle. 55. Come to my work. Pistol. We want it. Come to my work.
Mayfield now. Now Mayfield lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. And the pressure gets to him again. Cameron Hayward attacking off the edge that time.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
Mayfield in this Browns offense staring at a 3rd and long now after the sack. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Cameron Hayward able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Switzer on the return. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Now, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
Let's go one more. Watch twist. 80 weapon. Mike 51.
To throw on 2nd down. Love, complete to Washington. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
Here we go. Check it out. Small.
throwing on first down. Love. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw again. Love. Got an open man. It's Washington. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 43.
That's good for us, Steelers. First down.
Ready.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 43. From the gun, Love. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
I don't care who you put on him, he's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
44, Mike, 44. Come on, D.
Switch. 66. Bullet high. Squeeze. Get in there.
Check 13.
Hot.
On first down, it's Samuels. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down.
Samuels, the ball carrier. The tackle made by Christian Kirksey. 2 yards on the pickup. It's second.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
I'm coming for you.
22, ready. Go.
Here's 2nd and 8. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. Here's the first carry for Kenyon Drake. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 10. He's at the 50, the 40, past the 20, 10, and he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown. Short throw, pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and that makes the score 7-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Here we go.
Throwing after the interception. Love. He's going to launch this thing. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. Love. Throw left side, complete to Smith-Schuster. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Don't get nervous. Hey, check 24. Check 20.
H3, 218. Chopper.
Let's get it together, defense. Let's get it together.
Wide. Get one.
From the gun, Love. It's complete to Drake. And down inside the 15 he goes. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
This quarterback now 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10. Running, it's Drake. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
Let's go now. 8, read. Come on, D. Seam 6. Let's go.
On 3rd down, Love. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Joe Schobert. And not much on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. It was Joe Hayden, the former Pro Bowler, that came up to get him down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And not much here as he'll get it to the 11, maybe the 12-yard line. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he's going to be taken down right at about the 15-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
But not a big gain with that play, but what they're doing is they're spreading the defense out, probing a little bit, and what they're hoping probably is that later in the game, they can create a matchup that they can exploit for big yardage later.
Here's Switzer. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
Set.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It'll be a gain of 17 and a Pittsburgh first.
Okay, ready?
First and 10
Top
at the
round.
42-yard line.
52. Chance. Hot.
On 1st and 10, Love. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Credit the sack to the Oregon Duck, DeForest Buckner. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long.
61. Matchbox, right. Ready, go.
Off the play fake. Love. And all this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. And he takes this way down deep into Cleveland territory. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 51 yards.
Complete to Deontay Johnson. First and goal.
2 minutes on the clock, 2nd quarter, 7-0 ball game. A chance now to get even before the break as they come up 1st and goal. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Second and goal.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal.
Check. 53's mine. General, West. Let's go, defense. Gone. Defense. And go.
They'll try again with Drake. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Kenyon Drake taking it in as they are now on the board here in the first half.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
That's fielded in the end zone.
Let's go.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And this is their 3rd drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down.
And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a 2nd drive, no first down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up?
26-yard line.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Mayfield to throw it. He's going to fire one deep over the... He's got a man, complete. And he gets all the way down to the 30-yard line. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10.
Everyone's got 4 down. Check. Fred down.
from the gun. Mayfield. He finds his target, Beckham. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one. Here's Beckham now. It's a jet sweep. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Looking to throw on second down. Mayfield. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham there to make the grab. And the Browns have taken the lead.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Steelers take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And you have to figure they won't just sit on the football here in the final minute. The way things have gone, they need to try to make something happen offensively.
But maybe they should. Maybe they should.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. Well, you just kind of feel for him right now. 4 interceptions, and you can almost see through his face mask. There's a lot going on in between the ears.
There certainly is, and probably way too much, because now he's probably doubting himself a little bit, wondering what adjustments he has to make. But here's what he needs to do. Get through this game, go to the press conference, meet it head on, and show your teammates you're ready to shoulder what happened today, and you'll be ready for the next game.
And if he can do that as a rookie, that's a great sign of maturity.
Hurry! Mike, 55. Check, 55, Mike. You gonna get this boy?
Following the interception, Mayfield. He's going to look for Beckham in the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. It's Devin Bush, the linebacker, who picks it. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half.
The Steelers take over first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened-up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Off play action. Love. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. In for the sack, Myles Garrett. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Johnson's got it complete. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, we'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that.
180! 55. Hey, alert, 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 alert! Big time drive. Let's go, boys, let's go!
Kill, kill, kill.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Set, 180!
There we go, here we go. Single, single. Now single the slot, single the slot. 13, 13, fellas, 13. Watch 13. Watch the screen.
Alert, 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 alert!
Hey, check, check.
Hey, echo!
50.
You ain't got nothing! I got it!
Now on 2nd and 13. Mayfield. Man open, that's Robert Foster complete. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8 at the Steelers' 49-yard line.
180!
Watch the run. Tight ends Ringo. Tight ends on Ringo. Tight ends on the Ringo. 3 down, 3 down. 3 down, 3 down.
Regular, regular, regular!
Mike's 50, Mike's 50. Let's go, D.
From just shy of midfield, Mayfield. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. T.J. Watt causing the disruption. He gets the sack. Mayfield and this Browns offense staring at a 3rd and long now after the sack.
Run, run, run. Hey, Alpha! Hey, we got Mike 50, huh?
Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up, D. Kill, kill.
3rd and long for Mayfield. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Here we go. Set. 70 in. 65. 65.
Shift!
Blue dark workers. Blue dark workers. Let's go.
On first down, Drake. They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Delta. Ready, go.
Off the play fake. Love. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Myles Garrett picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
And that's his 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
Ready up. Mike Popo. Don't get nervous. Tight dog, tight dog, tight dog.
80 weapon. 80 weapon.
44 is the mic.
Hard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ready.
From the midfield strike, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Martin's pass thrown to the sideline and incomplete. Results in a 4th down.
Here's Jordan Berry now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And this will be taken at the 13. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. A good run, got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3.
Alert 3, alert 3. Alert 3.
King.
To throw, Mayfield. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. The safety, Terrell Edmonds, picks it. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
3 receivers head out right, 1 to the left on 2nd and 3.
Check.
66. Bullet high. Go. Ready, go.
2nd and 3. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack.
Let's go now. 8, read. 22 jet bomber.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. And he's going to go down again. Christian Kirksey. He's the one to get him this time, and back-to-back sacks brings up 4th down. Here's Jordan Berry now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. This is taken at the 15. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Browns drive about to get started. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak. And he's going to be taken down. They sack him on what will be the final play of quarter number 3. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's the Browns football, and they've got the lead here as we start quarter number 4. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Mayfield looks to throw. It's caught. Beckham. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. 22 yards there, a first down.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. But there's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball?
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
Just week 1, but already plenty of intrigue with the games going on, and this one no different as we come up on a 1st and 10. On first down, they'll run with Hunt. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and all of a sudden here it's 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. That's out to Chubb, complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is, he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game in the 4th.
all you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes us forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it him to 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 34-yard line.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. They stay on the ground with Drake. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4.
This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. Operating from the gun. Love. He finds his man Johnson. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. That catch puts him right at 100 yards receiving now, and it also gives him a first down.
First down.
50.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Here I come. H3-2-18. Chopper. Crash. Bravo. Twist. Yes.
Mike 51. 3 buzz.
On first down, Love. And he hits Drake. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down.
Complete to Kenyon Drake. He's taken out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10.
Chopper.
Watch the
2nd and 10. And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 47. And he'll score. Touchdown, Browns. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Drake will start the drive on the ground. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Watch it. Check 99.
2nd and 6. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Terrence Mitchell right there on the coverage.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. To throw on 3rd down. Love. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. Definitely desperation time. This just looks like, hey, throw it down there. Hope that your guy can make a play.
You want him to make a play, but if not, maybe you get a pass interference call. And you know in the NFL, that's a spot foul. You get all that yardage. That would be a big play.
We own them. Kill.
Check.
On fourth down, Love. Flushed out right. And he finds McDonald. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on fourth down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
Get that quarterback, D-line. D-line, get that quarterback.
We play to win. Let's go.
So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing on first down. Love. Looking left sideline. It's complete. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, Love. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Off play action. Love. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Myles Garrett in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has, but in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense?
In his defense, I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Mike. Yeah.
53's the Mike. Check 53. Here we go, D. Watch twist. Watch. Switch.
Yep.
On 4th down, Love. And he's going to be taken down here. Back across midfield, 3 yards away from midfield at the 47. Myles Garrett. And defensively, that might just seal a Week 1 victory. On the NFL scoreboard there in the 4th quarter in Philadelphia. And an impressive display by the Eagles. They continue to pour it on, scoring again. A win would be their 2nd on the young season.
Alert!
It's our time. Check 26. Check 26.
A run for Nick Chubb. And he's got room. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. That good for 22 and a 1st down. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And with that, our journey begins, Charles. Week 1 in the books. Going to be a great season.
Oh, man, so much to look forward to. Isn't it nice to get a really good game right out of the gate? Preseason behind us. All these games count now, don't they?
Yeah, this is the exciting time with